Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today, we're talking about Ripple, we're talking about scams, Cardano, Bitmain, VeChain, Visa, lawsuits, Grayscale, Binance, and a lot of stuff. Alright, so it's a huge mouthful, but it's going to be really exciting. But first, make sure you press the like button, make sure you are subscribed, and make sure you comment something down below, because that way you can actually enter into our 250 XRP giveaway that we give away the first time a video hits 1,500 likes within 24 hours. So make sure you do that, and let's get into our first topic of today, which is about spotting scams. Alright, and hence, I want to know from you guys, have you ever been caught in a scam? Like, have you ever fallen for one? Have you ever lost money in a scam? Or has anybody ever defrauded you out of your money? Put it down below, because I think that's something we should really be paying more attention to, right? I personally think you can spot about 80% of the scams or so, but I mean, there will always be a couple that are so sneaky or that have some better reasonings behind them where you just are taking a bet, but it's not a guaranteed scam. I'm going to be coming back to this subject though a little bit later in another video, as I want to give you guys a full explanation about why this 90% spot chance is not completely true and why high returns are sometimes possible. But let's quickly see what he said over on Twitter. He said about 90%, and I'm talking about the Ripple CTO David Schwartz, about 90% of cryptocurrency investment and mining scams can be spotted just by knowing that nobody who has found some amazing way to get unusually high rates of return with very low risk would want to invest your money for you. They would just get a loan and keep the profit. Even relatively modest 2% daily returns are likely the telltale sign of a scam. As somebody asked, like, okay, what about 2% a day? He said, do the math and see what a 2% daily return does after a year. Then ask yourself if someone who discovered that fountain of money could have any conceivable reason to want your money. And he has a very good point to a certain degree, right? Where if somebody is claiming he can get you that amount of return a day, 2% a day, he is most likely BSing. On the contrary, there are quite a lot of funds who can get over, for example, 100% in a year or so. The thing is, it is about the guarantee. If they guarantee a 2% return a day, or even a 0.5% return a day, at that point already, it is most likely fake, mostly for the reason that it's very hard to guarantee that, and if they really would be able to do that, they wouldn't need your money, right? That's his thing. However, the way it goes kind of wrong, which we'll talk about really in depth a little bit later, is that there's investment funds who just do their best to make profits, and sometimes they really make, 0.5% a day. It's really possible to sometimes make 1% a day, for example. And what they do is they take 2% of your money, for example, for doing all of this, right? Or sometimes they maybe even take more of your money to do that. And that's where this thing kind of goes into the wrong side, because here they're talking about they would just take out a loan, but it's not actually that simple to take out a loan unless you have a definite plan and you can actually show that it works. But if you're going to say, well, I want a loan, I'm going to be investing it for 1% a day returns, it's going to be very hard to prove a bank that you can really do that, right? Because they're going to think you're on some shady freaking stuff and they probably won't give you a good loan. You might be able to take out, let's say, for example, a $40,000 loan. Maybe if you're already a huge company, you can take out some more money. But generally, if you're a small fry, if you only have, let's say, a capital of $100,000, good luck getting a huge sum of money. And by leading, for example, these rounds of investment, you could maybe get millions, if not tens of millions of dollars in inflow, for which you can then later on get a better loan because you have more capital inside, right? Once more, I'll talk more about this, but the point is that it's not always fake. It's just very often fake. And if somebody is promising you a return and really depositing it on your account, it will be fake 99 out of 100 times. But if they're saying they can do that 2% a day, it's not like that's surely fake. But again, he said 90% though, so it is okay. And here was another kind of red flag list. The point is, guys, if somebody's telling you they know a good trader, it's fake. By the way, if somebody's using my name and profile picture down below, it's not me. There's a lot of these scams down there. You guys are always emailing me and Discording me with like, oh, there's somebody impersonating you. I know there's a ton of them. There's at least 10 a day, I think, that are doing that type of stuff. And you can't really stop it because they go with a rate of, let's say, about 120 comments an hour. So if I were to go full time, delete comments, there would be no spam comments anymore. But once more, it would take me more time to delete it than there are being added, if you guys get that. So for example, if you were to add 120 comments every hour, I can only delete, for example, 80, so there would still be a net increase of 40 an hour, so I'd have to hire another person to just stick with me there deleting scams. The only thing I can do is either turn comments off or try to filter for as many words as possible, but I tried. I tried banning all the WhatsApp and Telegram type of things, but I can't just ban all numbers outright. So what should I do? Right? I can ban the plus or try ban more variations of Telegram or WhatsApp. But they try and find different things in it regardless. And sometimes they just say, I know a trader, contact him via, some other site, via, I don't know, YouTube, I don't know. And I can't really stop that type of stuff. So just warn others, be careful. Then Charles Hoskinson, Cardano, outlines how developers will foster Oracle adoption. Company IOHK consolidates partnerships to offer customizable Oracle services on the Cardano ADA network. Stake pool operators will be the access point for off-chain information for smart contracts on Cardano. And the thing you need to know is Cardano is working their asses off to get Ethereum developers on there. And this whole Oracle ordeal, which he talked about a little bit earlier over on YouTube, I think is going to be very, very interesting, as it's going to be competing with quite a lot more right now, right? Through this whole ordeal, working with Wolfram Alpha. Yeah, I think this is going to be very, very interesting for them. And we'll definitely hear more when everything pulls through and if it pulls through properly. But again, we'll talk about that more a little bit later. Bitmain lawyer reveals company loss totaling $60 million in 2019. That's that fun thing about kind of IPOs and companies that are involved with crypto, that they can actually make a lot of losses and do very, very bad when crypto does bad. And 2019 wasn't the year for crypto at all. And so Bitmain, a mining company, actually one of the biggest mining companies, yeah, they didn't do good either in 2019 because, of course, their equipment is worth quite a lot of money. It costs a lot of electricity. And if you're not making that much back in crypto, you might make losses. On the other hand, could have also been that they didn't really sell as much as the years prior and stuff like that. But the bigger point is, if we are to go for example, the Coinbase IPO, we should always keep in the back of our heads that they're doing this in a time where Bitcoin is prosperous, where it's doing really, really amazing. And there's a very high probability that right after they do that, that Bitcoin goes down a little bit again, or after a little while goes down. And their quarterly numbers, which a lot of people base these whole prices of stocks for, that those quarterly numbers will be really, really downturned quite a heavy amount in just a couple of years from now, right? I'm definitely thinking about that, and also thinking about that when I'm going to try invest in the Coinbase IPO. The thing is, I would want to go for it, but it's also just a bet against crypto, or for crypto, I guess, where you're just betting that crypto does well and they get a lot of volume and just a lot of attention. But on the contrary, I mean, as long as Coinbase does good as a company and it keeps continuing on, they will probably get bigger over time. So maybe it's still a better bet than I kind of made it out to be just now. Then VeChain toolchain adopted by APAC Provenance Council for Supply Chain Transparency. VeChain, also one of my favorite cryptos right now. They're doing the most in terms of the real partnerships. The Asia Pacific Provenance Council, an industry body that focuses on fostering transparency in food supply chains by enabling exporters to digitally and scientifically prove the authenticity of their products, has adopted VeChain, period. The move will enable the body to take advantage of distributed ledger technology in boosting supply chain traceability and more, according to a blog post on May 6th. Good and juicy. Good and juicy whenever VeChain does the type of stuff. I'm really happy for them. Then Visa encourages internet-free transactions for CBDCs. You guys always put in the comments down below, it's Visa or something like that. I see a lot of people just try to correct me on that one. Visa, I don't know. Visa has been particularly active in the crypto space recently, launching new initiative to improve the adoption and ease for spending digital assets. They're just really working quite hard on their cards that are working with crypto providers. So for example, Binance has cards, right? I don't know if that is an official Visa one, but I think so. And a lot of these other guys like Crypto, I believe, also have Visa cards and stuff like that where you just spend crypto with. I personally think spending crypto with a card is really, really bad, and I would really recommend against taking such a card out. But Visa published a paper examining the possibility of using a central bank digital currency, also known as CBDC, in an entirely offline environment, which is something that I really don't know exactly how it will work, but it's something that is quite interesting once we, I guess, get some more info about this, as right now it's just a paper talking about the real, I guess, outside of everything. Quote, recipients can submit signed offline payment messages to an authorized wallet provider with a guaranteed settlement of those transactions in order to withdraw funds from the offline payment system. I still don't know exactly how it's going to be working or how it really is, really thought of at all. Internet-free payments are a thing already, apparently, but I think it's a little bit strange, and I don't know if I like that too much, but whatever. It's just something that they're tipping their toes in right now, and we'll hear more about as time moves on as well. Then Grayscale investment readies for a new ad spree for 2021. It's kind of funny because usually ads are the biggest in December, because a lot of these companies want to take out their funds still just before the end of the year, and a lot of people are most eager to spend their bonuses right at the end of the year and stuff like that. People just really are more eager to spend. But here we're talking, I guess, about Grayscale preparing a new ad for 2021, which most likely means they don't really care about an ad budget. They don't really care about anything in that regard. They just want to freaking get the moolah, get the freaking money inside of Grayscale. And a little bit later, I want to explain about why Grayscale is actually one of the worst investments you can go for, because it's really pretty dumb if you start to think about it. But they are adding to the crypto development. They are adding to crypto, just general, how would you call it, like spreading of the knowledge of crypto. And they are also just, I guess, putting good ad campaigns into use for getting more people to hop on in. Even though, once more, I think it's really, really dumb, they are doing quite a lot for the crypto space. And I'll talk a little bit more about why it's so dumb to invest in that one later. I know I'm saying later for a lot of these things, but that's because I really want to give you guys the most amount of news in the shortest amount of time possible. But sometimes I just know, like, okay, this example I'm going to be expanding upon a little bit later once I get more time to just go in depth. But for right now, this is just all the stuff you need to know, so I want to quickly go through it. Binance CEO says we're discussing an accelerated coin burn program for BNB, and this one mostly refers to the idea that BNB, of course, which is already burned sometimes, will be burned or might be burned quite a lot more. The team at Binance will be considering ways of accelerating the BNB coin burn program. The current BNB coin burn is done quarterly, with the exchange destroying the equivalent of 20% of profits during that time period. And now an accelerated coin burn program will have a positive effect on the value of BNB, as of course scarcity takes place and kicks in. But exactly how they're going to be going about this, I guess we'll see. They're thinking about it now though, so that is already kind of interesting, because if you hold BNB, then that is very, very profitable, because, well, if scarcity kicks in, your value goes up literally in like the split of an eye in just a second. But a quick glance at CoinMarketCap reveals that BNB total supply stands at 176 million. This means that Binance has accomplished roughly 24% of the journey towards destroying 100 million BNB. Binance recently celebrated its third-year anniversary this July, which means 24% of the task took roughly 3.5 years. Doing the math, the current coin burn program might take another 10.5 years to achieve its ultimate goal of destroying 100 million Binance coins. That is also pretty interesting to start thinking about that. But yeah, I guess Binance might be a good option to buy then, BNB, for this coin burn that might be coming up. Another note, guys, I am still talking about unstoppable domains. You guys keep wondering in the comment section, like, why do you do this? What are you talking about, bro? Why do you keep doing this? Well, I think it's a good investment. All right, I think it's good to get yourself a crypto domain and just sit on it for a couple of years, most likely. But get some that you can resell, right? At least that's in the back of my head. Just go for some names which are resellable. So eventually, if this .crypto gets accepted by browsers, you can make a freaking ton of money. For example, if you were to ever get the insurance.crypto domain or something like that, damn, could that make a lot of money. And that's like the things I looked for when I was buying myself a couple of domains, just things that I can kind of feel would be easy to resell, right, eventually, or things that can make me a freaking ton of money. And of course, I also have the dustybc.crypto, just my own name or something like that. So if people want to send some money to that address, they can do that through, that thing. So you kind of have to differentiate between that a little bit. Things you want to keep for personal use, for example, your own website, which you want to create, or I guess some that you could just resell at all. You might also be able to do both. I don't really know, but it's just giving you guys some possibilities, and that's why I'm so excited about them. You can just check out through this log here for a little bit if you want to. You can also just type in, for example, invest, and you can just find words that have to do with invest, for example. And yeah, there's quite a lot of cool things in here, though, so check it out. And also, if you're from the US, check out Webull. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody.